Have you ever wondered why some people remain unshaken in the face of adversity while others collapse under pressure? The difference isn't in their circumstances, it's in their mindset. If your mind is filled with fear and doubt, your reality will reflect that. But if you train your mind to be strong, you will create a life of resilience and purpose. The real question is, how can you take control of your thoughts and use them to shape the life you truly desire? The answer lies in Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us to master our emotions, embrace discipline, and cultivate inner strength. It's not just an idea, it's a way of life, a tool to help you become the strongest version of yourself. In this video, you'll learn how to apply Stoic principles to reshape your reality and turn thought into action. So get ready. Your journey of transformation begins now. 1. Unlock the power of your mind. Imagine sitting in a high-end restaurant, eagerly anticipating a perfectly crafted meal. But when the dish arrives, the steak is slightly overcooked, and the sauce isn't as generous as you expected. Disappointment sets in. Thoughts rush through your mind. Did I really pay for this? This restaurant is awful. But then another thought arises. Is the meal actually bad, or was my expectation too high? Instead of letting frustration take over, you decide to take a bite. It turns out the meal isn't as bad as you thought. The real problem wasn't the food, it was the mental image that ruined the experience. How many times in life have we allowed false expectations to rob us of the present moment? Our mind acts as a filter, not reflecting reality as it is, but interpreting it based on how we've conditioned it. If you believe the world is unfair and people are selfish, you will always find proof to confirm that belief. But if you choose to see opportunities, kindness, and growth, the world will reflect that back to you. This isn't blind optimism, it's science. Your brain operates through the reticular activating system, RAS, a mental filter that determines which information deserves your attention. Think of it like a radio. Electromagnetic waves exist everywhere, but you only hear the station you're tuned into. Your brain receives millions of signals every second, yet RAS highlights only the ones that align with your beliefs. If you think the world is full of opportunities, your RAS will reveal them. If you believe life is only struggle, your RAS will reinforce that perception. That's why, after buying a new car, you suddenly notice that model everywhere. The number of cars hasn't increased. You've just programmed your RAS to recognize them. Likewise, if you repeatedly tell yourself, "I always have bad luck," your brain will actively find proof to confirm it while overlooking moments of fortune others would notice. So ask yourself, what am I training my mind to focus on? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." In other words, while we can't always control our circumstances, we can always control our response. And when you master your reactions, you gain the power to shape your life, strengthening your mental resilience. How can you cultivate this ability in daily life? One of the simplest methods is to shift the questions you ask yourself. When faced with frustration, instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" When you make a mistake, replace, "I'm so stupid" with, "What can I do differently next time?" These subtle changes don't just shift your mindset, they influence your actions. Over time, you'll notice a profound transformation in how you handle emotions and navigate challenges. If you doubt the power of thoughts, look at elite athletes. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. They spend hours visualizing victory, mentally rehearsing every move before executing it. Studies show that merely imagining a physical action in vivid detail activates the same brain regions as actually performing it. In other words, your brain doesn't distinguish between real experiences and deeply held mental images. This means you can begin reshaping your reality right now by first reshaping your thoughts. The Stoic approach to hardship. Of course, you might ask, what if I truly face a terrible situation? I can't just think positively and expect everything to improve. And you'd be right. Stoicism doesn't teach us to ignore reality or deceive ourselves with wishful thinking. Instead, it teaches us to accept reality rationally and choose the best possible response. Think of a blacksmith. He doesn't control the quality of the metal he's given, but he does decide whether to forge it into a sharp blade or let it rust into useless scrap. The same applies to our thoughts. We can allow ourselves to be swept away by negativity, or we can consciously choose a new path, one that leads to strength and purpose. And once you truly take control of your mind, you'll realize this is just the beginning. Because real power doesn't just come from unlocking the mind, it comes from transforming it. And that is a journey few dare to embark on. 2. Transform your mindset. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media, watching others thrive, traveling the world, building dream careers, and thinking, they must be so lucky, or worse, I'll never have a life like that? You're not alone. This is a common thought pattern known as the scarcity mindset. It tricks us into believing that life is a fixed pie. If someone else has more, there must be less left for us. Imagine you're at a busy cafe. You place your order, but the barista serves the table next to you first. A flicker of irritation rises. Why them before you? But take a step back. Their order arriving first doesn't mean yours isn't on its way. It's just in progress. Life works the same way. Someone else's success doesn't mean your failure. The real question is, are you waiting for your turn with confidence? Or are you convincing yourself that you were never meant to be here in the first place? The ancient Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your reality isn't shaped by circumstances, it's shaped by how you interpret them. And here's the good news, you can rewire your mind. Science calls this neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reshape itself based on repeated thought patterns. The more you reinforce a belief, the stronger it becomes. So why not train your mind to adopt an empowering perspective? One simple yet powerful tool is affirmations, positive statements that shift your thought patterns. Before you dismiss them as wishful thinking, consider this. In a well-known experiment, a group of athletes was split into two. One group trained physically, while the other only visualized themselves training. The result? Both groups improved. The brain doesn't differentiate between real and imagined experiences. If you start your day telling yourself, "I am learning to become stronger every day," eventually your brain will believe it. Another game changer, visualization. Picture yourself walking into your dream job interview, calm, confident, answering every question with ease. If you practice this image daily, when the real moment comes, it will feel natural. But here's something crucial. To fully embrace an abundant mindset, you must also accept loss. It may sound contradictory, but let me share a story. Alex, a freelance photographer, once turned down big opportunities out of fear of losing what little he had. He clung to small projects, convinced that if he failed, he'd lose everything. Then he discovered premeditatio malorum, a Stoic practice of imagining the worst-case scenario. He asked himself, if I take this risk and fail, will I truly lose everything? The answer was no. He might lose a client, maybe some reputation, but he'd still have his skills, passion, and future opportunities. With this new perspective, he took a leap. 3 years later, he owned his own studio. The lesson? Sometimes it's only when we're willing to lose that we truly gain. Now, ask yourself, if I woke up tomorrow free from self-doubt, what would I do differently? Would you finally apply for that dream job? Start the project you've been postponing? If your answer is yes, then it's time to change. An abundance mindset doesn't mean believing things will come easily. It means believing that even if you stumble, you will find a way forward. Life isn't a fixed pie, it's a buffet. And only those who believe there's enough for everyone have the courage to step up and take their share. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever told yourself, "I can't," only to later realize it was a self-imposed limit? Share your thoughts below. Sometimes acknowledging them is the first step toward transformation. And if you're eager to continue exploring ideas that shift perspectives and unlock potential, subscribe and join me on this journey. There's so much more ahead. 3. Manifest with powerful thoughts. Have you ever noticed how the way you start your morning can set the tone for your entire day? If your first instinct upon waking is to check your phone, get overwhelmed by an endless to-do list, glance outside at a gloomy sky, and then spill coffee on your shirt, it's easy to feel like the day is ruined before it even begins. But what if, in that same moment, you took a deep breath, smiled, and told yourself, "Today is going to be a great day"? Suddenly, everything shifts. The world itself doesn't change. Only your perception of it does. This is the essence of manifestation, not through wishful thinking, but by embodying the mindset of already achieving what you desire, naturally drawing yourself closer to it. The power of visualization. If anyone understood this principle well, it was the Stoics. One of the most effective ways to manifest success is through visualization. Consider preparing for an important interview. Most people worry endlessly, playing worst-case scenarios in their minds. What if I forget my answers? What if they ask something I don't know? But shifting your mindset changes everything. Instead, close your eyes. Imagine yourself walking into the room with confidence, your posture strong, your eyes focused. Feel the firm handshake of the interviewer. Hear your voice, calm, clear, unwavering. See them nod in approval. If you replay this mental image daily, it becomes ingrained in your subconscious, making it far more likely that you will embody this reality when the moment arrives. Why does this work? Because to the brain, imagination and reality are remarkably similar. Elite athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. Olympians spend hours mentally running their races, so that by the time they step onto the track, they've already won in their minds. The role of consistency. However, visualization alone isn't enough. The key to manifestation is consistency. This is where the law of attraction comes into play, not as a mystical force that grants wishes, but as the principle that like attracts like. If you believe the world is against you, you'll notice only evidence that supports that belief. But if you believe opportunities are everywhere, you'll start seeing them, even in the most unexpected places. Try this. Tomorrow morning, instead of scrolling through bad news or stressing over emails, ask yourself, what good can I find today? This simple shift will help you notice small but powerful moments, a kind stranger's smile, an unexpected opportunity, a casual conversation that changes everything. The world doesn't change. Your perception of it does. The power of affirmations. But thoughts alone won't shape your life without action. This is why affirmations matter. The key is using them correctly. Rather than saying, "I am rich," when your bank account is empty, reframe it into something your mind can accept. I am learning to manage my finances better every day. This makes your brain actively look for ways to support that belief. A simple yet powerful technique is standing in front of a mirror each morning, looking yourself in the eye and saying your affirmations aloud. At first it may feel awkward, but over time you'll witness the transformation within yourself. Creating a system for success. To turn these ideas into a system rather than scattered thoughts, use mind mapping. Instead of keeping everything in your head, write it down. Take a piece of paper, put your goal in the center, and branch out into key areas: the thoughts to maintain, the actions to take, and the affirmations to repeat daily. This roadmap turns dreams into reality. The paradox of control. However, here's something many overlook. The harder you try to control everything, the less control you actually have. Stoicism teaches not only how to direct the mind toward positivity, but also how to handle the unexpected with composure. You can do everything right, yet life may still take unexpected turns. The key isn't controlling every outcome, it's preparing yourself to respond with resilience. When you practice this, even failure becomes an opportunity for growth. A simple morning challenge. Are you ready to try something simple? Tomorrow morning, instead of rushing to check the news or emails, take 30 seconds to ask yourself, what can I do today to create a better day? And as you step out of bed, remember, your thoughts don't just shape your day, they shape who you become. But if thoughts are this powerful, what about emotions? Can we control them, or are they simply waves we must endure? As the Stoics would say, the answer lies in how we choose to respond. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Mastering emotions and habits, the true key to inner peace. 4. Mastering emotions and habits. Think back to the last time you felt angry. Maybe someone cut in front of you at a cafe, a colleague made a snide remark, or you were stuck in traffic and late for work. In that moment, you had two choices. Let frustration take over and dictate your entire day, or take a step back and observe your emotions with a sense of detachment. The Stoics weren't devoid of emotions, they simply refused to be ruled by them. A skilled driver doesn't avoid every pothole, but knows how to navigate without losing control. Similarly, you can't control how others behave, but you can always control how you respond. That sounds simple in theory, but consider this. What if you committed just 1 month to mastering your reactions? How often do you let small inconveniences ruin your mood? How much energy do you waste on things that ultimately don't matter? The real power lies in recognizing, assessing, and redirecting your emotions in a way that benefits you. Once you develop this skill, you'll realize you have far more control over your life than you ever imagined. Of course, understanding this is one thing, putting it into practice is another. Take Jake, a software engineer who used to get frustrated over the smallest things. A late report from a colleague, he fumed. A barista got his order wrong, his whole morning was ruined. But one day he decided to try something new. Every time he felt annoyed, he asked himself, will this matter a week from now? If the answer was no, he let it go. The shift was remarkable. Situations that once made him furious suddenly seemed trivial. He couldn't change what happened, but he could change his perception. Yet managing emotions alone isn't enough. You also need habits that reinforce stability. Think about fitness. You wouldn't expect results from just one workout. The mind works the same way. If you want it to be strong, you must train it consistently. A simple but effective practice? Start your day with a few minutes of meditation or deep breathing. It's like stretching before a workout, preparing your mind for the day ahead. Then write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be profound. Something as small as the sun is shining or I had a great cup of coffee is enough. Over time, this rewires your brain to focus on the positive instead of dwelling on negativity. Anna, a friend of mine, experienced this firsthand. After losing her job and going through a painful breakup, she felt like her life was crumbling. But instead of letting sadness consume her, she made a small change. Each day, she wrote down 3 good things, no matter how insignificant they seemed. At first, it was difficult. She could only come up with things like, "I still have a home," or "I have a friend who listens to me." But after a month, she started noticing more reasons to be grateful than she ever had before. Her life didn't change overnight, but her perspective did, and that changed everything. Mastering emotions and habits isn't a one-time effort, it's a lifelong journey. But real freedom begins the moment you take control of yourself. Don't wait for the perfect moment to begin. Start today, even with the smallest steps. Take a seat. Write down your thoughts and emotions. Establish a morning routine and observe the changes, because ultimately your mind shapes everything. What you believe, you become. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people. You're taking control of your life rather than letting circumstances dictate your path. Keep moving forward. The most crucial part is yet to come. By the time you reach the end, you'll have a clear plan to turn these insights into action. If this message resonates with you, tap the like button. Not just to support this content, but as a personal reminder of your commitment to growth. Attract prosperity, well-being, and fulfillment. True success isn't just about the balance in your bank account. If money alone defines success, why do so many wealthy individuals still feel empty? The secret lies in balancing 3 fundamental aspects: financial security, health, and inner joy. Neglecting any one of these will always leave you feeling incomplete, no matter what you achieve. But the most vital truth is that everything begins with a single element: your mindset. Let's start with money, since it's often equated with success. Have you ever heard phrases like, "Money makes people greedy," or "Only dishonest people get rich," or "I'm just not good with money"? These beliefs act like barriers, trapping individuals in a cycle of scarcity. But consider this: if you see money as evil, how can you ever attract it? Rather than viewing money as a problem, recognize it as a tool. A hammer can build a home or destroy one. It holds no inherent morality. What matters is how you use it. If you desire wealth but harbor negative beliefs about money, it's like trying to swim while fearing water. Shift your mindset. Wealth isn't about luck. It's a byproduct of the value you provide. A skilled mechanic will always have clients. A talented chef will always run a thriving restaurant. A dedicated employee who continuously learns will always advance. Instead of saying, "I don't have money," ask yourself, "How can I create more value?" Then take action. Define financial goals, manage expenses wisely, and invest in skills that enhance your earning potential. The Stoics didn't chase wealth, but they also didn't fear it. They mastered it. But what is wealth without good health? Have you ever seen a successful entrepreneur constantly struggling with stress-induced headaches and insomnia? Or an office worker hunched over a desk for hours, ignoring their physical well-being? If you think, "I don't have time to exercise," consider this. Eventually, you'll have to make time for medical treatments. Health isn't just about avoiding sickness. It's about sustaining the energy to fully experience life. Try this simple experiment. Tomorrow morning, instead of reaching for your phone first thing, step outside for a 10-minute walk. Breathe in the fresh air. Allow your mind to awaken naturally. Instead of that extra cup of coffee in the afternoon, opt for water and stretch for a few minutes. These minor adjustments may seem trivial, but over time they will revolutionize your energy levels and mental clarity. If you don't prioritize your health, who will? And then there's happiness, the most elusive aspect of all. Have you ever thought, "I'll be happy when I make more money," or "I'll be happy when I get a better job," or "I'll be happy when I reach this goal"? Yet even after accomplishing those things, the feeling of true fulfillment remains just out of reach.